right? Okay, so let's go to this. Just a minute. Right, okay, so there is a command prompt query also, guys. Using command prompt also you can start or stop the SQL server. Okay, you have to open command prompt in run as administrator mode. How to open command prompt in run as administrator mode? Right click, okay, and you can see run as administrator. Okay, so this is how you have to open command prompt in run as administrator mode, guys. Then you can type, okay, net start ms sql server, net stop ms sql server. Okay, we'll stop the SQL server. If you want to see, you can see net stop. As it is already running, let's stop the instance. Okay, ms sql server. It is asking, do you want me to stop the agent also? Yes, just yes or no. Okay, if y means yes. Okay, now it is stopping. If you want to see, you can see, guys, now it is running, right? Play button is showing, right? Once it was executed the command, you can see it was stopped. Okay, see this service and this service, refresh it, you can see this change. Okay, you can see, right? Stopped. So this is one way of stopping the SQL server. Again, I want to start the SQL server. Simply net start. That's it. Net start. MS SQL means default instance, right? For default instance, you have to type MS SQL server. For named instance, you have to give instance name. That's it. Okay. So now it is showing successfully started. So now you can see start servicing started successfully. Let's refresh it. Now you can see the services. Okay. Agent is not coming online. You have to start it like this. Okay, right? Usually agent also will come online, sometimes agent won't come online. So this is how we have to use. So there is a third way, that is using command prompt also you can do that. The same thing you can do using PowerShell also. Using PowerShell also you can stop the instance, you can start the instance. Same command you have to use, net start, net stop, you have to use to start the SQL services, guys. Okay, so but there is no SQL query to start the instance. You know why there is no SQL query, you know, right? Where we are going to execute the query if the SQL server is stopped state. So that's why there is no T-SQL query to start the instance, guys. Right, chalo. So that is all about your server roles, guys. And see, in this we have one more permission called sp configure, guys. Sp configure is one kind of server role. Okay, so sp configure 1 minute, guys. Okay, so sp configure, you can see one permission is there. So sp configure will help you to change the server level settings, guys. Sp configure will help you to change the server level settings. Okay, if you want to change any server level settings and all, you can change it using sp underscore configure. Okay, so I want to change, see for example, which permission setting you want to change. You can also do it from, see, everything you can do it from your GUI way, everything you can do it from your command way. Okay, sometimes you cannot do it from GUI way, but there will be a command for everything. Okay, see for example, I want to change any settings here. Okay, I want to change the memory settings, I want to change this security related settings and all. Okay, I want to change this connections, number of connections, remote connections. Okay, so I want to change this index fill factor, I want to enable the backup compression. So all these things you can do it like this using GUI. Okay, if I want to enable backup compression, I can simply enable it and click OK. The same things you can do with the help of query also. For that we'll use sp configure. Okay, sp configure, you can see here, you can see only 23 permissions are there. You can see here remote login timeout. Okay, so you can see this one like this. We just checked a lot of things, guys. Okay, 600 remote query timeout. Okay, so if you see here, the remote query timeout options are, if you go to connections, there you can see 600. Okay, remote connections and all. Now you can see, right, the same option 600, guys. Okay, if I want to change it to 800, I can change it to 800. or 1000, whatever you want. 600 means 600 seconds it will wait. It will wait until the server is going to connect, means it will wait for 10 minutes. 600 seconds means how many minutes? 10 minutes. Okay, so remote connections will wait for 10 minutes. In this 10 minutes, if it is able to connect to the SQL server, that's fine. If it's not able to connect to the SQL server, it will wait for 10 minutes. Then it will be okay, it will throw error like query remote timeout errors and all like that, you can see guys. So all the settings you can change using this sp underscore configure also, or you can do it using GUI also. Both the ways you can do it guys. Okay, so this is all about your server roles, fixed server roles. You're 8 plus 1 9. And if you want to check, sir, I want to see whatever server roles are there for public. Okay, if you want, you can try it. I guess you cannot drag it. Okay, done. You can drag it. But if you check what permissions are there for public, it will tell you public is not a known fixed role. Okay, you don't see any permissions of public. You don't see any permissions of a public, guys. Okay. Okay. You don't see any permissions of a public. Okay, guys. Any issues, any doubts here? Please let me know. Right, is it clear? So that is all about your fixed server roles. So other than these fixed server roles, do we have any other roles? Yes, customized server roles. Okay, so the difference between fixed server roles and customized server roles, tell me guys, what is the difference between fixed and customized server roles? What is the name? What is this name guys? Customized server roles. What is the challenge with the fixed server roles, guys? Tell me, what are the challenges with the fixed server roles? Just tell me one challenge. What is the main problem with the fixed server roles, guys? Why
They
it was
can
fixed
add
server role?
others.
Hmm. Why it was fixed server role, guys? Why it was a fixed server role? We have already discussed in the beginning of the class. Why it was fixed server role? What is the meaning of fixed server role? Sorry?
We cannot change anything on them.
Correct. We cannot change the permissions. We cannot add the permissions. We cannot remove the permissions. Okay. That is a challenge, right? That is a challenge or not?
Yes.
Okay, so there is an
Yes.
issue with the fixed server role.
Yes.
The challenge is the permissions are fixed. You cannot remove the existing permissions. You cannot add the your own permissions. Okay, so mostly we don't use it. Rarely, if we use it and all, we might use it. But that too, of course, we'll use common server role, that is sysadmin. People will ask you, hey, can you please add me to the sysadmin? Simply the thing is, you have to double click on the login, or you have to go to login properties, go to server role, select sysadmin, click OK. That's it. Don't test it. Testing is only for your purpose, for your knowledge. Testing you have to do in your environment, in your local laptop. But in the organization, if anyone asks, hey, can you please give me sysadmin role? Simply we'll go to the logins. We'll go to the sysadmins. Anil wants looking for sysadmin. Go to server role. Okay, sysadmin. Click OK. Now Anil is a sysadmin. That's it. Please mute it. This is how we are going to give the sysadmin role. Okay, so only sysadmin role 99% we are going to use. Remaining in all other situations, we don't use sysadmin, guys. I mean, like we don't use other roles. Okay, so this is how it is going to work. So, but the main challenge with the server roles are fixed server roles are permissions are fixed. Okay, we cannot add our own permissions. But what if I want to add our own permissions? I want to group together. I want to whatever permissions I need, whatever permissions I need, all the permissions I want to group together, and I want to create a role that is called customized server role. Means you can customize the server role. Fixed server roles you cannot customize, you cannot add or remove permissions, but customized server roles, SQL Server is giving a provision that you cannot is you can create your own server role, so that whatever permissions you need some permissions. Okay, say collection of permissions. Okay, so I need a permissions of reading the data, and I want permissions of creating the database, and I want permissions no one can shut down the SQL server. So like this, I want to combine all the permissions from different roles. I want to create my own role, that is called customization. Customization, you know, right? If we go to cloths and all, dresses and all, we are going to customize the dresses as per the measurements. That is called customization. Okay, so in the same way, we can customize the server roles. We can create our own roles with our own permissions. Whatever permissions you need, we can create our own permissions. With the own permissions, we can create the roles, guys. From 2012 onwards, this feature is there. From SQL Server 2012 onwards, this feature is there. Okay, from SQL Server 2012 onwards, this feature is there, guys. 1 minute. Right? Okay. Fine. So from 2012 onwards, from SQL Set 2012 onwards, this feature has been introduced, guys. Okay, early versions, for earlier versions, we don't have that feature. We cannot create customized server role. From SQL Set 2012 onwards, you can create customized server role. So how to create customized server role? It's very easy. Right click on the server role, you can see new server role. Okay, are we going to create server roles in the organization? Yes, sometimes. Sometimes application team will ask instead of giving individual permissions, okay, single permissions. So they will ask, okay, my team members needs all these permissions. So we'll simply create a role with all the permissions. We can add permissions whenever we want. We can remove the permissions whenever we want. We can delete the permissions whenever we want. We will group together all the permissions. So next time if anyone joined, of course we are going to add him into that particular group. If not, individual login is there. We'll simply give the access to that particular individual login. So that whatever permissions are there, again, no need to give the permissions manually. Automatically, whatever permissions are there for the server role, all the permissions is going to, okay, enjoy, right? So server role name you can give any name you can give. In the organization develop application team will tell you what would be the sorry, what would be the name of the server role. They will tell you application team based on their name requirements. You can change the name. Okay. So what I am going to rename this as a uh, custom server role. Okay, it was disconnected, I guess. Just a minute. Right. So I'll give the name as custom server role. Custom server role. Now that's okay. Name we just given, but what about permissions? Owner means always SA will be the owner, guys. Owner, whenever you see owner, SA will be the owner. Just SA, that's fine. Okay. So now I want to give permissions. What kind of permissions? On what level I want to give the permissions? I want to give it on servers, guys. Select the servers. You can see, okay, let me maximize this. You can see all the permissions that you can give on the server, guys. These are all the permissions that you can give. If you see here, grant with grant deny. See, I don't want a member of this role. I can add any login to this particular role, guys. A member of this role cannot shut down my SQL server. Okay, then I'm sorry, this permission. A member of this role cannot shut down my SQL server. For that, what I have to give? Deny permission, guys. Deny is very powerful permission, guys. Okay. See, usually when a person can shut down the SQL server, tell me when a person can shut down the SQL server. If he has
After
access,
completion.
usually, normally that is different thing. But when he can shut down, if he has access to shut down, then he can shut down the SQL server, right? Agree?
Correct.
Agree?
Yes.
Means if we give grant option, he can shut down the SQL server. Agree? If we don't give grant option, can he shut down the SQL server?
No.
No, he cannot shut down, right? That's very true. If you go to this create database, something like this. See, if I give grant permission for create database, what it means? When I give this permission, means he can create the database. If I uncheck it, he cannot create the database, right? Agree? Agree, guys? Everyone?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Then why I have to give deny separately? What is the need of giving deny? Deny also will do the same thing, right? If I give deny, he cannot create the database. For every permission, you can see grant with grant deny. Earlier we discussed grant means with grant means deny means revoke. Of course, grant with grant deny revoke. Okay. So what is meant by deny? He cannot use that permission. He cannot use that permission is called denying. We are denying someone to not to utilize the permissions. Okay, so if I don't give create database permission, of course he cannot create the database. But why I have to give deny for him? If I don't give shutdown SQL server, he cannot shut down the SQL server. But why specifically I have to give deny permission? Any idea, guys? Is my question valid? Valid or not, guys? Tell me. Is my question valid? No one is
Yes, sir.
getting
Valid.
this kind
Valid,
of
sir.
doubt.
Valid
Valid,
answer.
right? If I don't give
Yes.
permissions, I
Valid.
cannot utilize that permission. I cannot utilize. If I give the permission, I can utilize. So here, why we have to give deny means by mistake Anil is there, Jayesh is there. Okay. So what Anil did is he just okay give the shutdown permission to a third login. Imagine Suresh. Okay. So Anil give shutdown permission to Suresh. But actually, as per the protocol, Anil, I mean like Suresh cannot shut down the SQL server. Suresh cannot shut down the SQL server. But by mistake, Anil gave shutdown permission to Suresh. In that case, he can happily shut down the SQL server. Suresh can happily shut down the SQL server. If you gave the permissions. If you don't give the permissions, of course, Suresh cannot shut down the SQL server. But what deny will help you, I'll tell you. Okay. Even though someone gave you shutdown permission to Anil, Suresh, even though someone gave shutdown permission to Suresh, if deny is there, only deny permission will work. Shutdown won't work. Grant won't work, guys. Listen carefully. By mistake, if I gave any permission to any login, okay, if we apply, see, I strongly decided Suresh cannot shut down my SQL server. I strongly decided. When Suresh can shut down the SQL server, if anyone gave permissions, he can shut down the SQL server. So I have strongly decided that no one can shut down my SQL server. So I gave for Suresh login, I gave deny permission. So as if you gave deny permission, even though if anyone by mistake gave shutdown permission to Suresh can't shut down the SQL server. Why? Because deny is already applied on him. Means a lock is applied on him with the help of deny. So once until you remove the deny permission, even though Suresh is having shutdown permission, he cannot shut down the SQL server. Is it clear, guys? I strongly decided that this person cannot utilize this permission. Then what I can do? By mistake in the future might be someone can give the permissions. So to avoid this, I'll apply deny on him. So if I apply deny on him in the future, if anyone gave the same permission, it won't work. Why? Because deny is there on him. You have to remove deny, then only that permission will work. Is it clear, guys? Everyone? Is it
Yes.
clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes.
Yes, sir.
deny is a kind of denying the things. That's it. Deny is a kind of permission which is denying the things. What you are denying? Shutdown you can deny. Whatever permissions you can see for all the permissions you can see deny. Okay. So any permission you can deny, guys. If I strongly decided that he cannot utilize this permission, okay, I can allow deny so that he cannot, even though he has permissions, as deny is already there, means a lock is there on him, he cannot utilize those permissions, guys. That is called a deny. So deny is very powerful After sysadmin, guys. After sysadmin, deny permission is very powerful. Now tell me, I have a quick questions, two, three questions for all of you. Try to respond, please unmute. Very important questions. Now, Anil is a member of sysadmin, but shutdown permission is denied for Anil. Anil can shut down my SQL server or not? Anil is a member of sysadmin, but shutdown permission is denied for Anil. Now Anil can shut down my SQL server or not?
No,
No,
sir.
sir. No, sir.
Yes,
No,
sir.
Can shut down.
he can shut down. Please, guys, please try it. Yes or no. That's it. No issues. Okay.
No,
Just
sir.
Yes,
try
he
to
can.
interact, guys. Try to interact. That's it. Okay.
He can shut down.
He can shut down the SQL server.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go like this. People are answering no, 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 no. So only one person answered yes. Venkat Shiva. And Jayesh said yes. Okay. Sudhindra said yes. So guys, just now we discussed. Okay. Deny is a very powerful other than after sysadmin, guys. First sysadmin will be there, then deny will come. The middle deny permission will come, then all other server roles will come, then all other permissions will come. This is the topology, guys. This is the hierarchy, right? So now tell me whether he can shut down the SQL server or not. Deny is very powerful, but after sysadmin only it is powerful. First is sysadmin only. Now tell me, can I deny the sysadmin? For any permission, can I deny sysadmin? The answer is no, guys. Okay, Anil cannot shut down the SQL server. Why? Because Anil is sysadmin. I mean, sorry, I'm so sorry. Anil can shut down the SQL server. Anil can shut down the SQL server. Okay, Anil is a sysadmin. After sysadmin only deny will come, right? So first sysadmin will work, then deny will work. So sysadmin is there, so sysadmin only will apply. Sysadmin is the top, guys. No one can deny sysadmin. Listen carefully. This is very important. Sysadmin, no one can deny the on any permission. No one can deny sysadmin. In this case, if you are a sysadmin and shutdown permission is denied for you, you can stop the SQL server. Why? Because sysadmin will work. Right. Now tell me. Now listen carefully. Now Anil is a member of server admin. Anil is a member of server admin. Okay. Anil is a member of server admin and shutdown permission is denied to Anil, guys. Now tell me Anil can shut down my SQL server or not. Anil is a member of server admin. Server admin, what is the main permission for server admin? Shutdown, right?
Shut down. Yes.
Shutdown. Means Anil is a member of server admin. Anil is a member of server admin, but shutdown permission is denied for Anil. Now Anil can shut down my SQL server or not. I hope you got my question. Everyone, please let me know if you don't get the question. I'll explain again. Anil is a member of server admin, but shutdown permission is denied for Anil. Now Anil can shut down my SQL server or not.
No, sir.
No. Okay, he cannot shut down the SQL server. Why? Why?
Because of deny option, sir. Second
Because of
priority is
deny.
deny option.
Correct. Okay. So the answer is no, guys. He cannot shut down the SQL server. Why? Because deny will apply finally. Finally, deny only will apply. Okay. Now another question. Anil is a member of process admin, but kill permission is denied for Anil. Anil can kill the session or not?
No.
No. The answer is no. Why? Because it's very
Yes.
simple. As discussed, after sysadmin deny is the very powerful. Okay, after sysadmin deny is very powerful, guys. So if I gave the access, but still he cannot able to access the means what? What it means? Might be deny is there on him. That's why he's unable to pull the data. Okay, guys, this is how it will work. Deny is the second highest privileged permission after sysadmin. Deny cannot deny sysadmin. Deny can deny everything. Okay, so if I strongly decided that this person cannot access my resources, then I can deny. So in the future, by mistake, if someone gave permissions to that particular login, but he cannot see why, because as deny is applying on him. Any questions, guys? Please let me know. Any questions, guys? Right? So this is how you can create the customized server role. Whatever permissions you want, that's just want to explain. Okay, some permissions. Okay, a member of this customized server role, what he can do, whatever you want, you can select, guys. Can connect to any database. Okay, whatever. I'm just randomly I'm pulling some of the permissions. Sir, why you selected that permission? Just randomly I'm pulling. Some of them are grant, some of them are deny. Randomly I'm pulling this permission. Create any database, I am giving a grant permission. Okay, and create external select shutdown, I am giving a deny permission. You can see, right? Shutdown, a member of this role cannot shut down my SQL server. Create a server role, I am just giving a grant permission. So create endpoint, I am giving a grant permission. Grant endpoints and all will discuss, guys, in the mirroring concept. Okay, so connect to SQL server, of course. Okay, so connect any database, authentication, alter any login, alter any database, I am giving deny. You cannot alter any database, guys. Okay, multiple how many logins are there? You can make all the logins as sysadmin, no issues. How many logins we can create in the SQL server? Alter any login, I am giving deny. You cannot alter the other logins and all. See here, some of them are deny, some of them are grant. So like this, I can group all permissions together and I can click OK. Next time, if any people are asking only these permissions, okay, now what we can do, simply go to logins, who is asking these permissions, go to Jayesh, go to server roles. There you can see whatever server role we have created, we can just select it and you can click OK. Now Jayesh cannot shut down the SQL server. Why? Because we gave deny for shutdown. Okay, if you want to try, you can just try it, shutdown. Okay, a server role, the results you can see here. You can see in the first line, user doesn't have permission to perform this action. Why? Because shutdown is denied as per the role. So this is how it will work, guys. Is it clear, everyone? Clear, guys? Any issues, any doubts?
Yes.
Okay, done. Fine. So this is all about your server roles and customized server role. Let's go to the database roles, guys. Let's discuss the database roles. So till now we discussed only server level roles, server level things he can do. What about database roles? Under databases, if you go to any database, you can see security. Under security, you can see roles. Under roles, you can see database roles. There you can see these are 9 plus 1 database roles. Okay, 9 plus 1 database roles. Server roles are 8 plus 1 data server roles. Database roles are 9 plus 1 server role. Okay, so mainly you can see data reader role, data writer role. These are main roles, guys, very important roles. And you can see any database, you can see these roles, any database. Okay, access admin, backup operator, data reader, data writer, DDL admin, deny data reader, deny data writer, DB owner, security admin, public, guys. Public you can see in the database roles also we have public database role. So we have public server role, we have public database role, guys. Okay, sir, I want to see the permissions of each role. Can you tell me, guys, what is the query to find the permissions of a role? What is the query to find permissions of a role? Yes. What is the query, guys? I hope you know the query, right?
SP underscore
SP underscore
SP underscore.
server role
Okay, SRV role.
Server role
permission,
permission.
Server role permission.
Server role.
server
Right.
role permission,
Then
Yes,
particular
server
role,
role, particular role.
particular
Correct.
then particular role,
But these are not server
which
roles, right? These are not server
DB role.
roles, right?
DB role.
DB role.
Okay, okay.
Correct. Okay. The same thing, same query. You have to simply SP underscore DB fixed role permission. Okay. Here you have to remove this one, DB fixed role permission. That's it, guys. This is the query to find out the permissions of a database role. This is the query to find out the permissions of a server role. Okay, so let's execute this, guys. Access admin, what kind of permissions access admin is having? So just select it and execute it. You can see three permissions are there. Access admin is having three permissions. Okay, one is drop user, grant DB access, revoke DB access. So like that you can see a member of this role can drop the other users. Other users means you can see under users list. He can drop this a member of this role, access admin. Okay, can drop other users from the particular database and all. Drop means delete, guys. Okay, so again we'll use mostly two database roles. Very commonly we'll use two to three database roles, guys. I'll tell you that one. Backup operator name itself is saying you can take the backup of the database by using this particular role. Guys, listen carefully. Server roles are server level entities that you can apply on the login, so this will be applied across the whole server. But database roles are nothing like that. It was limited to the database. If you are a member of backup operator, if any user is a member of, listen carefully. Database roles means users. Okay, you cannot say, can I add this login to this database role? No, actually, technically, it's no. Okay, on behalf of that login, one user will be there, right? Okay, that user will be a part of the backup operator role. Okay, so these are the database level roles, guys. Database level roles. Flipkart will have its own roles. Sales database will have its own roles. Okay, every database will have its own roles. So if anyone is a member of backup operator, okay, as per this role, he can take the backup of the database. Which database backup he can take it, guys? Is a member of backup operator in the Flipkart database. Which database backup he can take? All the databases?
Flipkart only.
Only Flipkart database he
Flipkart.
can take. He cannot
Flipkart
take
only.
backup of other databases, guys. Why? Because our database roles are limited to that particular database. He cannot touch other database. You can see lot of database roles are there in the data reader, data writer also will be there. If I give data reader option, he can read data from all the tables from the Flipkart database only, but he cannot touch the sales database. He cannot read any data, not even a single table. Is it clear, guys? Database roles. I'm sorry. Everyone, database
Yes, sir.
roles are limited to the database only. If I add any user to the database roles, he is limited to that particular database. He cannot touch other database. So backup operator, if I add any user into this backup operator role, what he can do, he can take the backup of that particular database. Okay, so like that you can see there are different backups are there, backup database, backup log, so different databases are there. So like this you can see. Let's check for data reader, sorry. Okay, what is the meaning of this data reader, guys? What is the
Reader.
meaning of data reader? He can read the data. What is the query to read the data?
Select stuff.
Correct. Let's execute this one. Okay, sorry. Let's execute this one. You can see what permissions are there for data reader. Right, so let's execute this query. You can see only one permission, that is select permission on any object of this particular database. Now you have a doubt, sir, I don't want permissions on all the objects, I want permissions on a single object. Yes, that is also possible. You can give permissions on a single table. But if you add any user to the data reader role, by default he will get access on all the tables. He can read all the tables in that particular database, guys. Whatever database, how many tables are there in that particular database, all the tables he can read it. Only read it. Why? Because data reader role. How to add a user? You know how to add a login to the server role, but how to add a user to the database role, guys? Okay, so go to security again. Go to your login, any login, which login you want to add, which associated user you want to add to the database role. Go to that particular login. Go to user mapping. Okay, select the database. In my case, it is Flipkart database. Select the schema, give the schema. Okay, I am giving access to JS user. What role you want? Access admin you want? No. Backup operator you want? No. Data reader you want? No. Whatever permissions you want, you can give it, guys. Whatever permissions you want, you can give it. Let's cancel this. First, let me check how many tables are there in this. No tables are there. Let's go to sales. I guess in the sales we have tables. Yeah. So now let me connect as a Jayesh. Jayesh is already there, right? Connection is there. Let me open a session from Jayesh. New query window. So let's try to. He's trying to pull the data from sales database, guys. Jayesh is trying to pull. What is the table name? Databases. Sales. We have sales table is
Sales.
here. Okay. Let's try to pull the table name, guys. First of all, I want to run select query means what is the first thing I have to check, guys? Select star from
Start from
sales. Right? That's it. Can I run it now?
database select.
I have to select the database. Why? Because the sales table is there in the sales
Sales
database.
table.
But I'm executing this query in the master database. I don't get any results. Invalid object name. Okay, so I have to
Use
select
sales.
the database name, use database name or use sales or whatever it might be. Now I have selected it. Okay, now can I run this?
Yes.
Now let's run this. What it is saying? Select permission was denied. There is no select permission for Jayesh on this table, right? Chalo, let's reconnect, guys, using the same link. It is showing 1 minute. Let's reconnect using the same link.